Bitch, I'm pushing G. Never for the love, bitch, I'm pushing G. Never for the sign, bitch, I'm pushing G. All the Kevin 3 screen, pretty G. Yeah, I'm pushing G. I'm growing in developing, I'm pushing G. Yeah, yeah, I'm pushing G. Love, like loyalty, bitch, I'm pushing G. Hey. Mind, body, soul, I control my feelings. Hey, real quick, get my stuff together. Shout out to Slum Prince, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, the whole entire Arkansas. Shout out to Arkansas's first gold artist, Slum Prince, one of our very own. Hey, I'm loving this pussy. Scream free the chief. Yeah, I'm pushing G. We pushing G around here. Huh? We pushing growth and development. We pushing positive and productive. Also. Blueprint. What? The philosophy of lifestyle management. He say, I'm in love with the philosophy. He's talking about managing your lifestyle. See, what y'all got to understand is, if you don't know how to manage your own life, then they pay people to control the life or manage the life that you can't seem to control. Or that you can't seem to control or manage. Shout out to my TikTok family. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this off real quick. Okay, remote, jump up in my hands real quick. All right. Yeah, we back. Okay, so now, again, shout out to my TikTok family. I'm on one camera going live with my TikTok family, and I'm on the other live going live with the Facebook family. But in all totality, shout out to humanity, period. My purpose is to uplift fallen humanity. And I believe that humanity and all of us have fallen to some degree. Even if it's just by way of the miasmic atmosphere that we live in, come in, and exist in, I really believe that all of our humanity has fallen to at least a degree, if not degrees, even some of us to a gross level. And therefore, all of us are in need of our humanity being uplifted. Yeah. So, what's going on? I see I got one viewer right here on Facebook Live. How you doing? I really appreciate that you check in and chimed in with the good guy. So today, I guess I'm going to do a follow-up to last night's live. If any you guys checked in with me last night, you know that my live was the reason why I feel the need even to come live again to sort of do a overviewing or an extension to the live from last night is because as I went over it, I realized that in my estimation, as far as the way, I have a standard and a level set for myself, and I didn't think that I reached it there. So, I'm coming live again to sort of do an overviewing and then, to fill in a couple of things that I felt like was left out. I started off the video, so to speak, talking about, or the live, I should say, so to speak, talking about how, it was about pants sagging. And basically, I went into the point that, and I wanted to underscore that many believe that pants sagging started in the penitentiaries, and it was some sort of homosexual act that guys in the penitentiary used to do to advertise in the signs of they would pull their pants down to advertise their behinds with hopes of drawing a brother who had fallen so low in his humanity that and in the control of his own sexuality that uh, he would look up on the same sex as him and find him desire. Man, that almost becoming a whole nother thing. But no, again, a whole point was to say that, again, a lot of people like to accept that the reason why a lot of our youth are sagging their pants is because of the acts that was happening in the penitentiary. That is not, that is wrong, that is bogus. Uh, on another hand, if you look into the so-called educational field or the academics, they like to say that the reason why a lot of our youth are sagging their pants is due to slavery. Again, I pointed out that to sort of color their point, they would say that in slavery, the ball and the chain that used to be tied to our ankles or around our waist or shackled, right? They would say that the chains used to pull. The weight of the chain and the ball used to pull on the tetherings. I don't like to say clothing because they didn't give our people clothing then, at least respectable anyhow. So they say the weight of the chain and the ball used to pull on the clothing, and this used to pull the pants down off the behind, thereby showing the behind. And another instance, they would say this is why brothers walk with a limp. They would say that due to slavery and that ball and chain they used to have attached to our ankles, that carrying it, and we developed a limp that literally became hereditary to the point that basically what they're trying to say is the limp is now a part of our DNA due to slavery. Okay, so those are the two things. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. In 1992, there was a brother coming up out of Atlanta, Georgia that no one had ever heard about. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if it was the Grammy Awards. I don't know what show it was, but it definitely was a show that so-called black people check into every year. And the brother that I'm speaking about real quick is Jermaine Dupri. We know the Jermaine Dupri obviously for acts like the Brat, Bow Wow, and things of that nature. Who is my guys? Jagged Edge, right? Jermaine Dupri basically is a household name now. But here's my point. Jermaine Dupri came out in 1992 with a dark hue brother and a light hue brother, and he called them Crisscross. And when Crisscross, for the first time, when America got a chance to hear and take sight of Crisscross on a broader stage, Crisscross came out on the stage not only with their clothes on backwards, both their top and their bottoms, their pants and their shirts and whatever, jerseys. They also had them sagging. They were sagging. And the song that was probably was number one on the Billboard charts at the time and all over the country, that had taken the country by storm, was Jump, Jump. Did Mac Daddy make you jump, jump? That was the first time, because listen to me, I come from that era. I was incarcerated in September of 91. 3 months, 4 months from being 92, right? So they came out in 92 and started that fad, right? Because in 91, 90, 89, 88, we was into the Levi's straight leg fashion. We was into iron, pardon me. We would take an iron. We was into the creases, and we had to make sure that our shirts was tucked in. Our shirts would be tucked in, and then they would fall over our very so neatly and everything, right? This is us in 88, 89, and 90, 91. 92, when Criss Cross came out on stage with their clothes backwards and their pants sagging, that started the era of pants sagging or sagging pants. Or niggas spelled backwards. So I forgot to clear that up yesterday, and I want to get back on here and clear that up. The other thing, the most significant thing and important thing was that I put together a post that that directly pointed out what I like to call a modern day William O'Neal. I would say his name, I believe that he is fair game because this guy went on YouTube and made a video dubbing himself as the protege of Larry Hoover. He would tell you that his name is Anthony Ant McIntyre. What gives me the boldness or the testicular fortitude to come out here and expose a so-called FBI worker snitch or FBI informant and agent? Well, in the first case, William O'Neal and what happened with Fred Hampton, the chairman Fred Hampton, and Mark Clark here in Chicago. Yeah, that's one thing. I don't want another brother to have to be go through a William O'Neal demonstration. That's first, right? I mean, I immediately go to that. Wait, is a William O'Neal around us, and I know it, and I'm not gonna say. Listen, here's the irony of it all, is that first of all, these are so-called confidential informants, right? Confidential informant, meaning they're supposed to be not known. They're supposed to be, their name and identity is supposed to be in silence and secrecy. They're supposed to be anonymous. Pardon. Right? So, the government and the FBI want me then to also aid and assist and making sure the identity of a confidential informant stay confidential. And as I do this, the confidential informant take down brother after brother, sister after sister, brother after brother, sister after sister, while I'm being confidential with you, right? Again, the irony of it all is that this same person or persons that you want me or all of us to remain confident, even if you find out, don't you say nothing, you got me fucked up. Because that same so-called confidential informant gonna get very public. He gonna forget all that confidentiality and privacy on the day when it's time for him and or her or them to stand up as a stool pigeon that was sitting down and point my ass out and any of my brothers and sisters and hand them over to a motherfucker that set them up for this day. Exactly. This is the point that, let me tell you something. We as a people forget this. We do not iterate this enough. We don't call their history out enough. We don't say what they have done to us and what they continue to do with us right now enough. Anytime any one of us, I don't give a damn, like for instance, in the case of peace be upon his soul, Amir Locke. In the case of Amir Locke, they then went into a home where with a no-knock warrant, right? And the warrant that they were serving had nothing to do with the occupant of that house, being that it was a mere lock, that he would be the one that would be murdered and killed that day. A little brother with a concealing, with a license to carry. By law, here's my point. I don't give a damn how right we is with these people. I don't give a damn how much we go by the letter of the law. We follow precept on precept and line upon line. We have to understand that they designs does not have our best interests at heart. Period. We keep trying to force the square into a triangle. We keep asking for a dog that we sent away to get the education of a cat. And when the physical dog returns, and when he finally utters a sound, it meows as opposed to bark. And you get upset that it's acting like a cat as opposed to a dog. Now, I know you want to point that out, but I want to point you out. Why would you do that? Who does that? Show me in the annals of history who else but us have done that. And then what happens is, if your child gets an A, a B, a C, or F in a history that has nothing to do with them, a history that has a language, a language that is not their own. I get an F in English, and I get punished for it. By my parents, by the school. I get an F in history, and I get punished for it. Or if I get an A in either one of the courses or the academics, and I get rewarded for it. Do you understand that you just rewarded your child or punished your child for a history that ain't got a goddamn thing to do with them? Do you understand you just rewarded your child or just punished your child for a language that is not even their first tongue? If I don't get an A in English, oh motherfucking K, I'm not English. I don't speak English fluently. Do you tell that to the Russians? Do you tell that to the Spanish people speaking brothers and sisters? Nay. When the Russians speak what is considered bad English, or Ebonics, or however y'all say we talk, it's considered a beautiful accent. When the Spanish speaking brother or sister roll their R's and all that, and they misquote, they don't speak that, it's a beautiful fucking accent. But when the motherfucking so-called African American or black man or woman speak what y'all consider not fluent English, we butchering it. Oh, y'all, but you don't know how to talk. You ain't. I'm not English. English people speak English. French people speak French. Chinese people speak Mandarin or Chinese, right? So you mad at me for not getting an A in a language that's not my own. Let me ask you something. How about you teach me the language we ain't even speaking at all? Our own. The fuck? So here we have, in the midst of us, I'm gonna jump real quick. I know this is gonna seem. I'm just gonna jump into the subject real quick, to the topic. Yeah. So here you have. Let me put it like this. I was in Centralia, Penitentiary, Illinois Department of Corrections, Centralia in 2009. It will be the last uh, prison that I would go to before I would return home. For my last 3 years of my 21 years. So from 2009 to 2012, that will be the last 3 years I did, and that was in Centralia, Illinois. Okay, so around 2010, I was introduced to a guy. One guy brought him to me, and well, before he brought him to me, he came to ask me, "Hey, listen, man, can I ask you a question?" He was an older brother, or at least older than me. Anywho, they were very confused and perplexed about a guy that had came to prison and said that basically he was somebody, right? He was saying that he was a VIP. Let me put it like that, right? And no one knew this guy, and they couldn't confirm whether he was telling the truth or not. So they come to me and they ask me, "Hey, are you aware of who this is? And is what he's saying, is it true?" So I said, "Bring him to me." And well, we ended up going to the yard together, and I walked the prison yard with him, and got to ask him questions, Q&A, get to know him, and basically, let me just put it like this. It got to a point where I just told him, "Hey, chill on that. Go on and do your bit." You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that anyone could confirm what you are saying right now. So just chill. And if you are who you say you are, be who you are. And, in due time, it's going to work itself out. And that was the last I heard of this, right? So I come home. And I don't like the scene that I see out here. I mean, everything is weird. It's not prison, obviously, but all the guys that made it out here before I did, very respectable, honorable men in prison. But I think that like the old man said, when people measure their freedom by their out date, they think that when they get out of prison that is freedom, not realizing that we was in captivity even before we ever was even held in prison or taken to prison. So yeah, a lot of guys came home and they got caught up in the ways of life out here, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do as far as the people go, and the struggle for self-determination, justice, and freedom. They came out here and they fell by the wayside. They got addicted to the same ills, diseases, and sicknesses and addictions that the brothers and sisters that they were supposed to be coming out here to help offer those things. And in doing so, I like to think that they wasn't on their guard. And not being on their guard, they allowed someone to slip in, and that came in and that was around for a long time, around the so-called hierarchy of these people, and being around them for a long time and going all over the place. I'm talking about all over the country. This not just a Chicago thing. This guy been all over the country, man. And listen, he been so effective. In 2016, a group of guys was taken down. And then out of that group, you had over 10 people. I'm talking about both primary informants, and you had corroborating co-defendants who had taken a deal in order to testify in 2016, 2017. But that ended up in 2021. That case was over with as of last year. But this guy is listed at the top of the paper as the number one so-called confidential informant. Now, he says himself on his YouTube video, supervised release, you guys can look it up, that he was released in 2013 after serving 19 years in a prison. So we know that these guys were taken down in 2016. So from one of the 3 years that he was home, from 2013 to 2016, this guy was able to take down a whole faction of guys from all over this country. They poor people. That was the first group. The second group just came last year. So basically, they was able to let this guy from 2013 to 2016. He had been intimately within the inner circle, so much so that he took down that group. And then from 2016 to 2021, that's 5 more years, 8 years in the totality, this guy has been within y'all inner circle, and now he's taking down a whole nother group from all over the country. And y'all allow him to stay amongst y'all, and he's still, and you guys are still calling him your friends on in social media and all that good stuff. He got a video on YouTube calling himself Larry Hoover's protege, when in all actuality, he's taking people down and blaming it. It's an indirectly. I'm not saying he's directly. It's an indirect insult even on Larry Hoover and trying to get him free. So yeah, if you or anybody else have the nuts to stand up in a courtroom and say, yes, right there, that's him. He's the one, or she, that's her. Ooh. And then listen, hold on, wait. Let me finish that, and then I'll make it clear. I got the testicular fortitude to stand up and point you out and say, that motherfucker is a snitch. That motherfucker is a rat. And if y'all don't get that motherfucker from amongst y'all, in fact, check this out. The golden rule is this. It takes one bad apple to do what? Spoil the whole batch. But if I take a good apple and put it in a spoiled batch or a rotten batch, would that turn the rotten batch good? Hell to the no. Common sense don't follow reason and rationale. So listen, if there was a rotten apple in the batch, it spoils the whole batch. That means all you motherfuckers is contaminated. That means all you motherfuckers been compromised. I'm talking about all you bitches out here calling you. Listen, boy, y'all tripping. Are y'all tripping, man? Wake up, man. How in the hell this guy, at least, I ain't even talking about, because that means this guy been an informant even before he he was in the prison as an informant. So now he done came out here, he done created an organization, and then he put all of y'all as board members on his organization. And you want me and somebody to listen to you. You contaminate, you compromise whether you know it or not. I do. Hey, listen, ain't nobody else in charge of this life but me. Leaders, y'all making decisions. How you gonna make a decision to keep me safe and you ain't even safe? You don't even know, or you do know. Listen, it's all fucked up. Because if you don't know who amongst you, that's bad. Because I got the vision to see who amongst you and you don't. So that's bad. On another level, if you do know who amongst you, that's fucked up. Because you playing ball too. That means he got you in the, how many of you motherfuckers he got in the grip? William O'Neill said for every agent, every FBI agent in the United States has to have as a quota 6 to 10 primary. That's just primary informants. Every FBI agent. As I'm saying that, let me give you another little historical buff and look. HBC, everybody love to talk about HBCUs, right? Do you know that Howard University in Washington, D.C. is and has been, at least since the Black Boule was started in 1910, or at least since W.E.B. Du Bois went in there, Howard University has been and still is to this day the number one recruiting ground for the FBI for informant agents. Check the books. What my man say? Look it up. Howard University. They literally go to Howard University to get brothers and sisters and turn them out as informants against their own brothers and sisters. Y'all not understand it. And now you get to try to wonder why we can't make progress as a people. We swinging at the so-called white man. We swinging at white supremacy policy, white supremacy laws, racism, institutions and systems and things of that nature. And we trying to figure out, wait, I know that was a good ass blow. Why we ain't making no progress? Because it is not them. It's the motherfucker that look like you, walk like you, talk like you, that's gonna keep on crabbing and barreling you. Because they didn't wrote off. They didn't sign off. Just allow us to act like we free like y'all, and we gonna keep these niggas at the bottom. The coldest, best kept secret right now is that sellout ass nigga. I'm gonna tell you right, y'all say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I say no house nigga formed against me shall prosper. On the boss. I see you motherfuckers coming a mile away every time. Just listen. Let's take a common sense approach. If they want it right to happen, why wouldn't it be happening? Listen, bro. Listen, sis. When was the last time y'all heard any black leaders? I ain't talking about the obvious blatant murders like a George Floyd or Laquan McDonald or Breonna Taylor, Latanya Haggerty, Sean Bell, Mike Brown. And then let's go on and on and on. I ain't talking about cases like that compels them and forces them to the microphone or in front of the damn camera. I'm talking about all the things that you know and I know that we are going through and experiencing, and you ain't heard one goddamn black leader. You ain't heard about no black caucus give us no direction on shit. We just been getting all this bogus, misinformed information from the CDC, from a senile ass president, from a wannabe sister who ain't got a clue. Right? We just left for grabs out here. Meanwhile, those who supposed to be the leaders, they the new so-called white man. They the new so-called racist mother. They the motherfucker that's making the backdoor deals against us. They the ones who are now getting all the monies that's coming from government, that's coming from the city, and they are cuffing the money. Or if they ain't cuffing it all, they giving the extras to they. It's cronyism. But it's still not making it to the hood. It's still not making it to the community. It still ain't putting no new trees on our block and no new grass. It ain't making it where our children can come out and play or at least go to the store safe and return home alive. No. You know why? Because you got motherfuckers out there that look like Tupac, but they think like Barry Manilow on the boss. And the shit is unnerving. I mean, on the boss. Y'all got me at the point that I got to do shit like this. I got to literally point out a FBI federal fucking agent in the midst of y'all. This motherfucker is right in the midst of y'all. Is you fuckers crazy? And then they got a motherfucker over here talking about, don't stop snitching on the snitch that's snitching. Stop snitching on the snitch that's snitching. Okay, well, I tell you what then. I tell your motherfucking ass what. So baby, what you trying to tell me is stop telling on the motherfucker that's telling. Is that what you saying? That's what's going on out here? Exactly. And so what y'all are trying to do is help a bogus ass narrative. A bogus narrative. A fallacious one even. Because you done sold your soul. Because you done sold your daughter out, your son out. Your breath, you don't even own your own breath right now. If they ready to take your breath, it's over with for you. Leaders? Where the leaders at? On the boss, show me a leader right now today. Show me a leader today and I'll show you a motherfucker that don't give a fuck about you. Show me a leader right now. Where the leaders at when we just had within the last 3 weeks, as far as my knowledge, 2 15-year-olds, a 16-year-old, a pregnant sister shot in her car, a mother shot in her car. Where the leaders at? What the directions? What the instructions? What the healing? What the counseling? What anything yet? Who you following? How they got your best interest at heart? Why you keep going to jail? Why you keep going to hell? And the signs of being killed. And the signs of a full-blown addiction. Why they stay out here free. Why they stay healthy. That's not your leader. He gonna lead you to... He fleecing you. He in bed, man. If he ain't a #1 informant, he a worker snitch too. That means, no, look, I'm not making this up. They literally have worker snitches out here. Meaning there are people out here that get a paycheck. They file taxes on, they get a W-2 form on all the snitching they did all over the year. And how many checks they got for that shit. Y'all now understand, on the boss. Okay, so let me try to calm down. Listen. Because I want y'all to hear. One of the most interesting features that stick out to me about how they so-called accumulated this bogus evidence on Larry Hoover was that they had found a way to take the visitor passes and put these bugs in them. And, you know, any visitor that comes to visit a convict, inmate, or resident, they have to take these visitor passes in and put them on their lapel or whatever it is on their clothing so that the officers would know that you are a visitor visiting. It's just a part of procedure. So What happens is the government puts these bugs in these visitor passes unbeknownst to the visitors. And so they recorded all the so-called shit that they taped, threw away. It was so much that was missing from it. It was just totally bogus. Long story short is this. Bro, sis, if they went that far, right? I'm talking about to the point that, you know, debit cards, everything is up for game now, right? We've seen these all kinds of stuff. Here's my thing though. There is nothing for anyone out there to be afraid of. This is why I talk as bold as I talk and I walk the way I walk. Because if you come at me, government, if you come at me, police, or whoever else, you got to come at me in my blatantly, you got to come at me in a blatant stand. It's going to be so blatant because I'm going to stay righteous. I'm going to stay within the law. I know what protects me. I know where I get my strength from. And I know the law. I'm acrobatic with it even. Right? I do my own cases. I write my own demonstrations now. Okay? So here's my point though. It just gives me that. It just gives me that in this day and age, after all that we have seen, after all that we have been through, we still don't have the comforting understanding that all I got to do is stay positive, productive, and right. All I have to do is literally be the message that I am bringing. Because guess what? The informant, the stool pigeon, the snitch, or whatever, they are only there to set you up for the wrong that you will be doing. They will be there to set you up only for the deception that you are practicing. They can only catch you or have something on. You understand? Now, that is not to say that we're dealing with a government that even if they can't get you right, they'll get you. They will lay off there and throw a case on you. We know that has happened too many times. So I would rather you put a case on me, though, than you catch me wrong. Then you catch me as an outside of the law, or as they say, an outlaw. That's what an outlaw is. You're an outlaw, that means you're outside of the law. And if you're outside of the law, then you're outside of the protection of law. If you're outside of the protection of law, you don't have no strength, no foundation, or no substratum to stand on. I'm not coming that way. I am the law. I'm the land and the air and the water that I bring. So if we stay positive and productive, then the informant and the snitch loses its strength, its potential power. Realize that the power of the devil, or Satan, or however you call him, is in the power of suggestion and the power of deception. Okay? Nothing is forced. The devil don't take your hand and grab you and none of that. It deceives you or deludes you, be in a delusional state to think that you are something that you are not, or believe you could do something that you can't or shouldn't be even. So that's the evil in that, and that's the power of it. But if I stay positive and productive and you're out to deceive me, if I stay positive and productive and righteous and you're out to get me to stick up somebody, rob a bank or sell some drugs or kill somebody or commit adultery, or you understand, do any of those things, it's not happening. Why? Because I'm positive and productive. I stand on the ism of love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, education, economic, political, social development, obedience, and unity. I stand on the conversation approach. I stand up on the second resurrection. I stand up on the blueprint. Yeah? I stand up on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I stand up on the fact that I'm a Moorish American, Asiatic Muslim. I stand up on that I'm the God man in the flesh, and I'm out to prove and express that by all means necessary. So I'm up for the game. I read the rules. I think I could be the Michael Jordan of this shit in the signs that I'll make you go write some new rules. I said yesterday that what I want you guys to understand, my Christian brothers specifically and particularly, and sisters, but for the most part, my religious people, for all those that accept the story, the biblical story of Adam and Eve and the snake in the garden, I'm not going to really, all I'm trying to do is say this. What I want you guys to realize is that the snake, it don't come to the garden. It's not like the story doesn't say, as it relates, God created the garden, and then God created a snake, and then that snake began to slither on his belly into the garden, where he met Eve and began to speak. No. You don't even see the snake being created specifically or particularly. Right? The snake, and in fact, the snake is in accordance to its nature, it just comes out and pops up out of nowhere. It could have bit you. You didn't even see the snake coming no more than Eve did. But here's my point. The snake don't come to the garden. The snake came with the garden. It was built with it. What am I saying? What are you saying, sheep? I'm saying the stool pigeon, the snitch, it don't come to the game. The stool pigeon, the agent provocateur, the spy, the spook that sits by the door, they don't come to the movement, to the struggle. They come with it. So as we are struggling for justice, equality, for freedom, for self-determination as a people, let us factor in that the agent provocateur, the Judas factor comes. We got to factor in the Judas factor. We got to factor in the betrayers. We got to factor in it comes with the movement. Now your job is to realize that, and out of that wisdom, demonstrate a cold measure, a most profound, divine design even. That will either defeat it, crush it underfoot, or get around it or over it. I'm your servant, serving you. Sheep, Saif, Evans Ill, you've been served. Peace. One people, one vision, one love. Free Larry Hoover now. Free Gustavo Colon now. Free Jeff Fort now. Free Mumia Abu Jamal now. Free Jalil Alamin now. Free the guys now. Free them all. Boss talk. Free them all.